Welcome back to the Minion Moto Show. How y'all doing? How you doing today? How you doing, goddamn? How you doing, Virgin? So I love stuff like this, man. You know, there's houses and all that good stuff there and whatever, and houses over there and whatever. A couple of windmills there, a bunch of windmills over there. The airport way over there, which is all those big buildings way down there. Doubt you'll be able to see that. Doubt you'll be able to see it either, but on top of that hill right there, directly in front of us, it's a bunch of towers that they use for you know, weather, radio, and have a traffic camera up there for I think our local news uses, and you can see the whole freeway and basically this whole area with it facing that way, at least anyhow, from basically about half of that mountain all the way down, you know. But it's a beautiful sight, man. Like, I know it's windier and shit down there, but it's nice to be able to get out here and go riding. First time in a little over a month. But I have a dumb question before I take off, because I think my audio is still kind of screwed up, so I don't know until I get back to the house or whatever and edit this video. But my last video I just made a couple minutes ago, towards the end of the video, if you haven't watched it, you should go watch the whole thing or whatever, so now we can actually get the gist of what I'm talking about. I asked, is engine size on a motorcycle, particularly a dirt bike, really matter? You know, and don't answer that question on this video, please. Go back to my last video, talked about engine size on a dirt bike or a motorcycle, but mainly a dirt bike mostly. But in this, I have a question now is, and I know some people are gonna be yes because they're die-hard freaking people on certain things, but does the make and model of your motorcycle, or any motorcycle period, really matter? And the reason why I asked that, and there's a goat trail right there, which is weird as shit. Hope I don't get rang up on by some of these big ass bighorn sheep, because I know there's some temperamental little assholes, but whatever. But like, okay, for example, I'm riding a KTM 250 SX, which is a supercross model, right? Mainly made for tracks, like, you know, motocross, supercross track, stuff like that. Well, I'm basically using this bike for the same things you would use an XC, XCW models for, you know, out here trail riding, hill climbs, hitting these little whoops like jumps and stuff like that. And yeah, this thing was originally built for jumping and riding on a groomed track for the most part, until I put the IMS 3.5 gallon tank on here. And I'm gonna tell you what, man, IMS, if you happen to see this video, I am happier than shit with this tank. And that is not a sponsored plug in any way, shape, or form. I'm not getting paid. You know, believe me, if I was ever getting paid or sponsored for a video to talk about something, I would say, hey, look, this is a sponsored or paid whatever video, but I'm giving you my honest answer. And right now I'm giving you my honest answer about the shit I use, like my Shinko tires. I love them. You know, I'm running the 525 again for the third time on the back tire. I'm running the 216MX on the front from the from Shinko, man. I know they're made in South Korea, but you know what? Like I said before, I love American-made products, but I'm not using any other tire brands that are made in America, because they just cost so much more money and they wear out so much faster. And You know, I've tried all different models of tires and brand makes and models of tires, man, and nothing ever lasted as long as these. And I'm not going to spend $130 to $150 for a tire that I only get 20 hours on. These tires, the back tires, I can get like 45 hours out of easily, which is, you know, 225% more time than someone's dragging 4-stroke over there somewhere way out there, but I'm getting 2.25 times. Like for this one tire on the back would be 2.25 to 2.5 times the amount of the other tires, and the front one's basically the same thing, 2 to 3 times more. But in this tank, IMS tank, I'm gonna tell you what, y'all gotta go to imsproducts.com, hit them up. You gotta go to Sprocket Specialists, you know, hit them up for your sprockets and chains, man. They got some sick freaking chains and sprockets, man. And if you're not following those for IMS, Shinko Tires, Sprocket Specialists on Instagram, go do it. And I'm not running them right now, but I will. Phoenix handlebars, right? They make all sorts of different. They have 70mm rise, 80, 90, and 100s, and with different sweeps to where they, you know, from being almost straight to more like the chopper style, laid back type. You know, the sweep is how far back or forward, you know, the bend is, and, you know, going back, forward and back. And those guys, that guy, oh yeah, there's 2 guys right there, shit. And you know, I'm gonna get down to my truck. And EBC brakes too. Anyways, as I was saying, was I know most people are kind of semi brand loyal depending on the bike and stuff that they're riding. Like, I know most Harley guys are gonna stick with Harley, and Indian is gonna stick with Indian, and so on and so forth. And honestly, I'm the type of guy, it's like, yeah, I'm riding a KTM, right? 250 SX. I love this bike. It's the best bike I've personally owned, right? Even though it's got its problems like every other bike does, but which bikes don't have problems, you know? And But I've had a Yamaha before. It was like, I think the second bike I ever owned back when I was like, I don't know, 13. It was a YZ125 1996 Yamaha. The first bike I had was a Suzuki RM80 two-stroke. The guy that I bought that from, I bought it, I bought it when I was 10 years old, and you're probably gonna think I'm full of shit by saying this, but I was saving up recycling cans, bottles, stuff like that, saving up any allowance or whatever I got for her, and I was purposely helping around my grandparents' house because I was living with my grandparents and my dad at that time. And I would do other odd jobs for a couple of my neighbors, like helping them do some of the yard work, because they had money to pay a gardener, but they figured they can give me half the amount that they would pay on a gardener and help me save up money and save themselves some money too. So, but I ended up saving like 900 bucks, 1,000 bucks after all that. Those guys are up over here now. It's a dude on a quad and I think a YZ250 4-stroke. I saw them down there. That's why I rushed back down here, because I didn't know if they were coming over here or not. But and then found this RM250 and this I don't know if y'all have it or not, but we have these things called green sheet, white sheet, whatever. We had both of them, right? Get it, boy. Ford Ranger. Hell yeah. There's this that dude's kind of a dick because he saw this older guy coming down, and oh yeah, see, there's a dude right there if you can see him. He's saying adios. Yeah, see, there's a guy on the white dirt bike right there. That's sick. But the guy screwed me over on my RM250 or RM80 two-stroke. Paid the guy 900 bucks. Still had like 150 bucks or something like that left over. I gave my dad like 50 bucks for gas because we had to drive out to La Quinta and back to get it. And then we went to go start the bike. Wouldn't start. I took it over to DTS. And this was back when Gabe was a mechanic. And I think the guy's name was Wayne, and his wife owned it. And then they ended up selling the thing to Gabe, which was cool shit. And that's how I knew Gabe, because I've known him since I was 10, and I'm turning 29 next month in May. So I've known him for almost 20 years, But we called the guy back up, and that I bought the dirt bike from, the little I keep wanting to say 250, the little RM80, and told him they screwed us over. He knew that the bike was broken, whatever. He's like, all right, we'll just come back over and we'll figure something out. And my dad took me back over there because my grandfather, who used to work for the state of California for like 40 plus years, called him up, bitched him out, and said, dude, that's not right. This kid's 10 years old. He saved up like a little over 1,000 bucks, and he had enough money to buy his first dirt bike, and you're gonna screw over a 10-year-old kid? That's not right, And the guy gave me like 400 bucks back, gave me basically a brand new pair of boots that he bought for his kid that were just a one size too small, but fit me perfectly. And they were like, back then, this was, like I said, almost 19 years ago, 18 and a half, 19 years ago. And they were like 100 bucks back then, so he really gave me 500 bucks back. And I think he also bought his kid another dirt bike, like a little 125 or something that had the same size wheels as the RM80 or something. And he ended up having a brand new rear tire, brand new front tire. They gave me both of those, and those were like 50 bucks a piece. I think a couple extra spark plugs that he forgot that he had and whatever. So really at the end of the day, I paid like 350 bucks for that bike after getting all that free shit, you know, to get my 400 bucks back, 2 tires, some spark plugs, all this shit. And you know, I got the engine rebuilt for $365.24. I don't know why I remember that exact number almost 20 years later, but yeah. Or it was $362.24. Yeah, something like that. But does engine, or not engine, but does make and model of a bike really matter? I mean, you're not gonna buy something that you don't like. Like, I'm not gonna ever buy another Suzuki because I'm not into Suzukis, man. Like, you know, but that's just it, you know. See, cops don't give a shit that I'm out here, and it's during quarantine, I guess, or whatever. But then I don't think I've never had a Kawasaki or a Husqvarna. I've had, like I said, first bike was a Suzuki RM80 2-stroke 1992. Second bike was a, like I said, the 96 YZ RM, or YZ 125 that I bought from my dad for a couple $100. I later sold to one of the guys that he worked with back in the day. And at that time, my dad had a 2000 Honda CR125 they paid $2 grand for, from a guy up in Runyon Springs, which is right up there by Big Bear, which is that snow-covered mountain. The guy screwed him over on that too, because we ended up having to spend $2,500 on rebuilding the entire engine, not just the top end. And then when I sold my YZ 125, I bought the Honda 125 from my dad after he spent another $400 on rebuilding the top end again and boarded out to a 120 or 150. And he ended up taking that money and buying a 250 Honda 2000, or a 2000 Honda CR 250 2-stroke from Gabe at DTS. And so we were on the Hondas. I sold my Honda 125 towards the end of 2015, and my sold a 250 or whatnot in end of 2016, beginning of 2017. And I ended up buying this bike, as you know, January 12th, 2018, and I'm happy. First bike I didn't buy it. Again, it's a borrowed bike. Long story short, it's it's just a borrowed bike. I don't really want to give the details on it, but it's not registered in my name, but it's registered to one of the people that I live with, and they basically said that it's going to remain in their name until I come up with the money to pay the thing off, which I completely understand. So in that way, if at any given time they want to sell the bike, they can, and there's nothing I can say or do about it, you know, because like I said, it's technically not my bike. Even though I'm out here riding it, it's not mine, but it is the best bike that I've been in possession of for the most part, you know what I'm saying? So let me know what you think down in the comments if make and model on a bike really matters to you. If I had the money to go buy, if this bike was not in the picture right now, and I personally had the option to go buy any bike or bikes that I wanted right now, would I buy this bike again, or period? I would definitely buy this bike, the KTM 250SX, or I would buy a KTM XC, XCW, and I would kind of stay away from the 4-strokes. I would want the 2-stroke. The only reason why I would ever go with the 4-stroke KTM is if I was getting a 500 EXC, which is the dual sport model, which is the street legal model of this, with twice the engine, and it's a 4-stroke. And yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna quit wasting your time. Catch you guys later.